Good morning, ladies. How are you? Debbie Holloway here. Still recuperating, but I couldn't wait to have a conversation with you today because there's so much conversation around what are you doing in the market that we're in right now. And it is a tough market, I'll grant you that, for those who don't understand the market. But I believe this market is an amazing opportunity. And I had a conversation with you gals a couple of weeks ago when I talked about the 9 things to do in a changing market. Good morning, Angela. Thanks for joining me. And I think that's a really great video, and I hope you guys watch it more than once because I think it really is an important thing to think about in each of those areas. What can I do to not be fearful in a changing market? Because I don't see this as a changing market. I see it as an incredible opportunity. A couple of things that help: get to our summit in August. It's just a couple weeks away. It's in Dallas. You should go if you haven't. What you learn there is amazing for your business. It doesn't really matter the business you're in. This stuff is universal. Secondly, join me for our Wire event in Destin in September. It's going to be a really, really great event. Got a lot of great panelists and just some great women that are going to be there. But in the 9 things that I went over with you guys, the first thing I said is stay in touch with your clients. And I think, honestly, that's our biggest mistake. Number one, we don't stay in touch with the people who have blessed us by doing business with us, or that we know well and that we know they trust us and would do business with us. We don't stay in touch with them enough. We don't communicate. We don't do enough small events. We don't just reach out and not talk real estate. One of our coaches did, oh my God, there's my buddy Ruby. I'm so glad you joined, Ruby. I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. One of our great coaches, Stephanie Arnett, did a talk, and it's in our Illume. If you're a Tom Ferry client, you should check it out. And she talked about how to stay in touch with. Now, it depends on who you're trying to stay in touch with, but you got to think about this. When it's people you already know, we're not talking to them enough. We're not reaching out to them enough. We're not saying, how are you doing? I mean, school's starting here next week, and I think it's starting in a lot of places. What are you doing to stay in touch with the people that you know and love? What are you doing? See, I think that's where we fall down. We don't know what to do. So we call them occasionally, or, well, really, I don't want to call them because I don't want to be a burden to them. You know, I hate to feel like I'm always asking for business. Then don't ask for business. You don't have to ask for business. All you have to do is just call and say, hello, how are you doing? Hey, did you hear this development going on? Or did you hear this in the news? Or what do you think about this? You know, you can talk to them about anything. You just have to talk to them. But let's say you're trying to reach out to, because this is happening, a listing that is expired, a listing that is no longer on the market. We're going to start seeing those. And I think if you've not worked expireds, I think it's one of the easiest ones in the world. It was one of my favorite ones to work. You just have to have a system for it, and you have to know what to say. So if you're reaching out, and that's what I want to share with you today, and I'll go through all 9 of these, but today I want to talk about keeping in touch. If you're trying to stay in touch with an expired, you never want to tell them their home has expired, because they're going to look at you and go, who died? They don't know what expired means. So you need to say to them, you know, your home, and Stephanie puts this in her post. You got to check it out. If you are a Tom Ferry client, go to our Illume. If not, I'm going to help you with it right now. When you reach out, day one, the early bird gets the worm here, so be early. Now, I'm not saying 6 a.m. I'm just saying be early. You want to say to them, your home came up on my computer as off the market. Have you sold it or relisted it? Now, there's a reason. So I know, Victoria, that's what they think. If you say expired, they think who died. Your home came up on my computer as off the market. Have you sold it or relisted it? And by the way, if any of you want this script, just post your email address, PM me, I'll send you the script. Have you sold it or relisted it? Now, in my opinion, and it works here, your state could be different, I haven't solicited them. I've just asked, your home came up on my computer is off the market. Have you sold it or relisted it? If they say I've relisted it or I've sold it, great, thank you very much. If they say I'm on the no-call list, I certainly can appreciate that. I'm updating my files and just didn't know if it was sold or if it was possibly still available. You haven't solicited them saying that, have you? Of course not. You've just asked the question. If they want to, and if they say, well, no, it hasn't. Well, may I ask you a couple of questions? You've asked permission. So has your home come up on the market? Your home has come up on my computer is off the market. Have you sold it or relisted it? Real simple. Then you go into the rest of the script, which I'm happy to share. But I think it's a great first question because you're not soliciting. Secondly, on day 2, send them a note. As soon as you get done talking to them, write them a quick little handwritten note. Hey, we just hung up and I wanted to let you know if you've got any questions or if you need any help with your home. Or maybe you could say, I would love to see your home so that I can share the information with my buyers, my upcoming buyers. So yes, thank you. Direct message me, private message me, and I'll send you the script. So you send them a little note. Then on day 3, 4, and 5, you have pre-arranged postcards that go out. Very simple, not a lot of verbiage, just very simple. I think the more simple it is, and you should always check out what Eileen Rivera does, or even Robin McCary, 2 amazing women who have phenomenal postcards. Keep it simple. A postcard each day goes out. Then week 2 through 6, you want to send a postcard that week. Again, I encourage you to go look at the PowerPoint presentation that Coach Stephanie Arnett did. It's in our Illume if you're a client. If not, I'm giving this to you now. That's one option. And of course, that really could be used for anything, not just expireds. Here's another option. Call them that first day in the morning. Call them the next day in the afternoon. Then, and I love this idea, Coach Stephanie, day 3, send them a video. And you don't want to title it like this. The content is, why did your home expire? Why your home did not sell. What causes a home not to sell in this market? Again, I would stay away from the word expired. It's something that most people don't know. Day 4, why is a pre-listing home inspection recommended? And maybe in your market it's not. You can come up with something else. Well, maybe it is the top 3 things buyers are looking for in this market. Think if you just incorporated some video in this, it really ups your level of rapport building. And then that's day 3, a video, day 4, a video you send them, day 5, a phone call. Now, you're gonna need an email address to do that. Simply say to them, hey, I've got some information that might help you now, or should you decide to sell sometime in the future, what's your email address? You can do that. If not, then your postcards and calling. Then after that, after the videos, you call. Week 2 through 6, touches 2 times a week from different mediums. You can phone, you can text, you can drop something off. There's so many different ways to touch people. And I'll post each one of these in the notes section so you all can see. But that's Stephanie did it for expireds. You can take this and work on this in regards to anybody who's trying to stay in touch with. I honestly believe with past clients and centers of influence, there are so many free things you can do. I just think that you want to be able to find ways to touch them without always talking real estate. I'll never forget, I went to a t-ball game when my son was young, and there was a lady standing there. She's a good client of mine. She said, oh, I'm so excited. My daughter's moving back. I'm like, oh, that's great. When is she going to be here? And she said, well, she just bought a house in Plymouth. And then she stopped because she realized I'm a real estate agent, and her daughter obviously bought a house through somebody else. And I said, oh, I think that's wonderful. She said, well, I'm really sorry. She really wanted to get in a house, and I know how busy you are. We are never too busy for our clients. But she thought I was too busy. And it was my fault because I hadn't been communicating with her. If I had just said hello and talked to her and the other times that I had come to the t-ball games but didn't see her or didn't pay attention or whatever, there are so many opportunities that we miss. So PM me for the script and I'll send it to you, or I'll email it to you, those who posted your email address. It takes me a little while. I'm typing left-handed, but I will get it to you. I will also post what Stephanie's process was for her 2 things on expireds. But I really want you to think this week about what can I do to stay in touch. Maybe there's something you're currently doing to stay in touch with your clients and your center of influence. I'd love it if you'd share it here. We could all learn from that. So share something you're doing to stay in touch, because guys, in a market that's changing like this, there are people that will work with you, but they've got to know you're still here. They've got to know you're still working. They've got to know you're the expert. Oh, thank you. I'm week 5. I think I get out of this in the next 2 weeks, hopefully before the summit. That's my goal. That part's doing great. The concussion's been a bit of a challenge. All right, ladies, so here's the thing. Share with us, if you would please, what you're doing to stay in touch with people. What are some great ideas that you have? And then I want to kind of go through these other 9 steps and be real specific about what we can do. So this will be a bit of a series, and I'll try to get through it in the next couple of weeks before our summit. Otherwise, you ladies make it a wonderful, powerful day, and we'll talk soon.